The advice I try to live by was issued by Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it trying to live someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice.
My mother always told me never to put anything in writing unless you didn't care who would see it later. Of course, she was referring to a letter, and meaning really choose your words carefully. That's even more true today than it was then.
Well, the best piece of advice I've ever gotten is simply the golden rule. But two of late are Stephen Covey's first two habits of highly successful people. Begin with the end in mind and seek first to understand, then be understood.
To be a leader, you're going to need to be one step ahead. But at 2 to 3 steps ahead, you're going to be a martyr.
The best advice I can give you is actually advice that I've read. Be optimistic, self-aware, and always in control of your emotions. That's the mark of a great leader.
My mother gave me great advice. She said that every day would give me an opportunity to make a difference by making a contribution. She said, keep your faith, love God, love your family deeply, and find a career that was both meaningful and rewarding.
Don't ever take yourself too seriously, especially when the camera's running.
It's really easy to get distracted by the numbers and the dollars and the politics of doing business. But when we stay focused on the patients and what they need, the rest of it naturally falls into place.
I had a great professor, LaSalle Lafall, who told us, always remember equanimity under duress. And he meant coolness under pressure. And that coolness is important when you're seeing a patient that may be having a crisis, or you're seeing in a trauma or an emergency. Having that coolness allows you to be clear-headed, have critical thinking so that you can solve that person's dilemma and help them through that crisis.
The sooner you can learn to become a student of your own life and get serious about discovering what are your core values, your unique abilities, and your passions, then and only then can you really flourish and thrive in your life.
Be open to new possibilities. The things that are being dreamed up today or that you're dreaming up may very well be the realities of tomorrow.
When making decisions, you'll never regret following your gut, but you will regret allowing fear to dictate your choices.
Personal responsibility is a philosophy that I've tried to live my life by. I think it's really important. And basically it says that everything that's within your realm, within your reach, within your touch is your responsibility ultimately. And that the buck stops here. You don't pass it off to anybody else. It's really important. It's the way I've tried to live my life and manage my company.
If you're not embarrassed by your initial product release, you waited too long to release it. You need to gather information from your original users and then take that information to improve your product over time.
The most important thing I've learned is discernment. It's as important to partner with good people as it is to avoid bad people and bad partners. So you have to go with your gut feeling and gut instinct.
So keep things in perspective, take it all in stride, take chances, don't be overly focused on the outcomes, be in the moment and have fun. And when you fall short, learn from those experiences, but don't dwell on them.
When I was 12 years old, my father sat me down and advised me to stop picking on my sister because she's a lot stronger than she looks. And I didn't listen to him and paid dearly for not listening to him. And that whole incident taught me that I better listen to my elders.
From a managerial perspective, lead by example, treat people how you like to be treated, and if you don't like what you're doing, go do something else.
The best advice I've ever been given or read is the quotation by Samuel Taylor, that every man is my superior in that I may learn from him.
Your family comes first. Keep your faith. Work really hard. Always do your best. Treat everyone with respect. Be honest, never lie. skate hard, keep your head up, keep your stick on the ice. Everything else is easy.
Growing up, there was a quote in my mama's kitchen, and the gist of it is, instead of worrying about the talents that you don't have or the gifts that you wish you had, to make the most of the ones that you do have.
The best piece of advice I've gotten is to always be attentive to the little things and the details. In law and medicine, the big things are obvious and we all take care of them. It's the little things that can make a very good thing turn very bad.
So I have two pieces of advice that I've merged together. One is I meditate on gratitude every chance I get, and secondly, I only speak if I can improve on the silence.
A bit of advice that has always worked for me is never to be afraid to ask the tough question, and always to give yourself enough time before responding to important or sensitive questions.
At the beginning of my career, I was told one thing and to follow that for the rest of my career, and that's to display character. And character was described to me as doing the right thing, especially when no one's looking.